Okay, before we begin, I'd just like to make clear what we mean by punctuation, and then I'd like to demonstrate why it's important. First thing we need to know is punctuation is not the same thing as grammar. Now, I promise to keep this simple, so here's the easy distinction between grammar and punctuation. Grammar is all about words, the way they work together. Punctuation is just a set of marks, squiggles, invented by printers to make reading easier. And that's it. Just a way of using marks on the page or on the screen to make the text clearer and to make reading easier. It really came into its own at the time of Shakespeare, and most early punctuation marks, comma, colon, semicolon, full stop or period if you're an American, were just a way for playwrights to indicate to actors when to take a breath, a longer breath, or a real pause. It made it easier to read the script. And making things easy for your readers is just as important today. Is punctuation really so important? Well, it certainly was for this man, Roger Casement. His unofficial epitaph has become "The man who was hanged on a comma." In April 1916, Casement was dropped off in County Kerry by a U-boat and was arrested by British authorities. He found himself in the Tower of London awaiting trial for treason. Now, the prosecution had trouble arguing its case, and eventually everything hung on how a sentence should be interpreted, and it all came down to a single comma. Without the comma, he would be a free man. The comma won, and Casement met his fate at the end of the hangman's rope. That's the power of punctuation. On a lighter note, let's look at a modern piece of text designed to show how the entire meaning of a whole paragraph can be turned through 180 degrees. It's a well-used example, a Dear John letter, where depending on the punctuation alone, she either loved or loathed him. Version 1. Dear John, I want a man who knows what love is all about. You're generous, kind, thoughtful. People who are not like you admit to being useless and inferior. You have ruined me for other men. I yearn for you. I have no feelings whatsoever when we're apart. I can be forever happy. Will you let me be yours? Jane. Or, and not a single word has been changed, just the punctuation. Dear John, I want a man who knows what love is. All about you are generous, kind, thoughtful people who are not like you. Admit to being useless and inferior. You have ruined me. For other men I yearn. For you I have no feelings whatsoever. When we're apart I can be forever happy. Will you let me be? Yours, Jane. Punctuation important? Case closed.